I'm the guy who does way too many things, alright? Like, way too many things. And I wanted to try something kind of interesting. Stop. I'm going to save you guys the 2.5-minute explanation and just kind of give you the Cliff Notes version so we can get right into the video. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be casting some resin coasters out of some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And I'm going to start everything off by taking this Pepsi box and chopping it up into my template. After that, I'll be putting a card into the box and pouring resin over it. Let's begin. Okay, so now I've got the pieces for both the big and the little mold. I have a feeling these are going to be single use, but that's fine because we go through a ton of soda. I will absolutely be able to make more of these as needed. So, I'm going to go ahead and tape these up, and tomorrow morning we're going to pour some resin. Hello, welcome to the garage. So basically what I've got going on here is I've got my boxes and my cards, and I've got my resin. So the resin I'm going to be using is this amazing clear cast. I've already used this, so I'm kind of familiar with it. It's a 1-to-1 mixture, and this is cheap by resin standards, but kind of pricey as far as like crafting things go. I think resin is just expensive to do in general. I'm getting my light set up here so we can get good light. Here we go. Woo! Alright, that works. That works. Hell yeah. Okay. So, basically what we're doing is I'm going to take these, I'm going to take this, we're going to mix it, and we're going to go ahead and pour these in, and then I'm going to take this, I'm going to cover it. Now it's kind of humid in here, so I don't know how the resin is going to react, because the last time I tried this it was December. It was a lot colder and a lot less muggy. We're going to see. We're going to see. Initiate time lapse. That's showing up on camera. I don't know if that's showing up on camera, but last time I used these were both the same color. Yeah, it's showing up really well. This is definitely discolored. This is not supposed to be piss yellow. I'm assuming that it's just the age. I did open this, like I said, a few months ago, so I'm thinking that the age of the resin, or the age of that B side has actually caused it to, and of course exposure to oxygen has caused this side to discolor. So I'm going to test this particular mixture out on snow just to see how the card reacts. This may not even set up, I don't know, but we're going to see how it reacts to this card, and I'm going to get fresh resin for all the other tests. I do have fresh resin, but it's pour over resin, not casting. And I think that matters. So, here we go. I've got 1-to-1 roughly. Now we're going to mix it in my little solo cup. Okay, so now that I've got this mixed, the instructions say to let the bubbles kind of dissipate by themselves. I have to wait about 3 minutes. God, I hope this works. Okay, well, it certainly isn't perfect. In fact, I think by me trying to get bubbles out, I accidentally reintroduced more bubbles. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do my first pour. Like I said, because I really don't care much about Dark Worlds, and this is another copy, or a different copy of Snow that I'm going to be using for my friends, or you get it. I'm going to go ahead and pour this. I forgot to use mold release. Should be okay. Should be okay, because I plan on tearing this up anyway and sanding it down. So here we go. I don't know if you can see it very well through the camera. Not particularly. This camera is not super good at detail. I could be using my DSLR, but there we go. But it is a picture camera, not a video camera. So let me zoom out, get my light so you guys can see that a little bit better. There we go. Okay. So I've got my light real close, too close, and we can kind of see it. We can kind of, yeah, you can really see it now that I'm real close. You can see just how many bubbles I left in there. Hopefully, over the next few minutes, that will rise to the top so I can pop them. Yay! I've got the resin done, a lot of the bubbles pop. There's still some bubbles. Hopefully, as it starts to cure, those bubbles will start to pop. Since I'm going to do these in layers, I have to let this set, and I believe the instructions said that it has to set from between 4 and 6 hours. It's 10 o'clock. I should have started this tomorrow like I said I was going to. This will be interesting. Alright. It is like 2:40 in the morning. Had an alarm set so that I could get the second layer of resin poured before it fully cured. And I have to try and be quick and be quiet so that I don't freak out my family, because my room is like clear on the opposite side from the garage. So great. Let's adjust the camera. Oh my goodness, that actually came out really clear, and I think it may actually have seeped out because it feels like it is straight stuck. I'm calling a bit of an audible here. I've switched ideas. Since I have multiple copies of this, I'm just going to use graphite instead of snow, because if this works, I may just use this instead of the rest of them, or instead of the different ones. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put this just right in there, get it nice and pressed down in there. That resin actually came out super clean, super clear, which is just awesome. And it doesn't feel super hot, so we should be good as far as that goes. Okay, so now another mixing cup, because I think that, yeah, that's pretty much cured to that. I should have set that on top of one of these, but whatever, we're okay. Initiate time lapse. that's nice and mixed up. So now I wait 3 minutes for that to bubble up, and then I wait, then I'll pour it, and then wait 10 minutes, and then I'm fucking going to bed. So. Well, alright. So it's been a little bit more than 24 hours since I poured the second layer. I tested it. It says curing time is between 24 and 48 hours. This feels like it's already cured, or at least ready to demold. I don't have everything I need to sand it down just yet, but I do want to go ahead and demold it and see what we've got. Alright, it looks good to me, but y'all can't see it very well, so let me zoom. Woo. Alright. Yep. And you can't really, I mean, from this distance you can't tell how many bubbles there really are. Don't know why it's not refocusing. Hello. Is it going to autofocus? Is it going to focus? Yeah, there it goes. So you can't, just looking at it like this, you can't really see all that many bubbles. They're like itty bitty tiny little bubbles, except for when I back it off and shine the light on it just right. Where's the... Damn it, I got the lighting too good. Here we go. Let's use the lamp. There is like 6 or 7 bubbles that floated to the top. So, I mean, this looks really good. For this being my first real attempt at using resin, this looks pretty good. And I don't have any professional equipment, like a pressure pot or anything like that. Now, of course, the next molds I use, I'm going to be using like a silicone rubber paste. I'm going to paint on, and they're going to look a little bit better than this, and probably be a ton easier to remove, because I'm just kind of picking at it, and you can tell I'm leaving quite a bit of cardboard there. So this is definitely going to have to be sanded, otherwise it's going to look like Pepsi sponsored this craft, which, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to, but that's not the truth. So, alright, let's try and get this thing out of its mold. I guess this will be a time-lapse thing, because this is going to take a minute. Well, I guess I am absolutely going to have to break out some sandpaper to get all that off. Which means now I get to do research on how to properly sand acrylic, because oh my god, this thing is sharp on the corners, and I really need to not be, I would really enjoy not being stabbed by my own creation. So, but I mean, it's holding its shape really well, which means I guess all of it's cured. I can't wait to see that edge right there, because I can't really tell. If you can see a clear line where the two layers met, because of the two pores. So I'm gonna keep picking at it, see if I can get more of this cardboard off. I don't think I'll be able to. I think I need to just go ahead and start sanding, which I'm not carrying my whole setup. Oh, light finally died. I'm not going to carry my whole setup out into the garage again, so I'm going to do that off screen. And then show you guys the final result. Well, final, because I don't have polish, but you know what I mean. So. Alright, so now we're back. I have sanded it down, stepping up all the way from 60, I think it was 60, 80. I started with 80. From 80 all the way up to 320. I could have gone higher if we had it, but we don't, so I didn't. And it's a little hazy. Hold on. It's a little hard to see. Let me up the exposure just a smidge. There you go. So yeah, it's a little hard to see the picture clearly. and those bubbles that were there are like really obvious now. Hopefully when I do the next couple of steps, those will disappear, or at least not be stark white. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see if it'll, yeah, it is focused. I'm going to take this and I'm going to wipe it down with some isopropyl alcohol, and hopefully that'll help even out some of these. And then, because I can't go any higher and I don't have any of the polishing stuff, any of the polishing paper like the 1200, 2000, 5000 grit, I'm going to instead, I was planning on doing this anyway, I'm going to paint the back pure black, or as black as my paint can go. I may tint it a little bit of that dark world purple there. And I don't know if I'm going to paint the edges yet. You can tell because of the catalyzer, that part B, how it was off color. Now the resin is off color. So you can see that really well now that this is all like that and out of all the blue. Another small thing is, you can see it really well at this angle, I kind of got a little too sand happy, and 3 of the corners are showing. So I'm thinking I will probably also paint the edges that same dark world green or dark world purple or whatever, and then clear coat the whole thing. And hopefully between the alcohol and the clear coat, this should smooth out and be nice and pretty. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Well, I've got it all clear coated. I do like how it looks, but I'm not going to show you yet because there is one more step to make this thing a coaster. We have this cork backing. I would rather use a thicker cork backing. This is just meant to like line drawers or whatever, but this is what I've got. And all we gotta do is put this on this, and that's done. So I'm going to do that real time in frame, hopefully, while I talk a little bit about what I've learned. So I've learned that first of all, doing resin is not easy, and it's very time consuming, and I'm going to have to trim a little bit of this off, which is fine. I've learned that sanding is a pain if you don't have the right spot to do it. So I didn't have anything really truly flat to sand this down on. There we go, that'll work. So I'm just going to score right down this way. Wow, I was way off. Let's try that again. Hopefully this doesn't ruin everything. That's way better. There we go. Okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I've learned that you can make acrylic look decent if you clear coat it, but to make it look really good, you need to have the right sandpaper, which I did not. The highest grit that I had on hand at this moment, and you know, of course, with everything going on in the world, I didn't really want to go out on a whim and grab more sandpaper. The highest grit I've got is 320. I would have liked to take this all the way up to 1200 or even higher. I know the final product would have looked even better. I've also learned that it's going to make it a lot easier if I do make a mold first out of silicone and then pour everything into that. But enough prattling on the reveal. Let me zoom cam, to zoom. So yeah, it actually looks good. It lets the light through. You can tell that it's a holographic card. Me painting the edges definitely helped hide some of those imperfections. If I turn the light down a little bit, you can see the color a little better. yeah, I mean, it looks good. It's lightweight, which if you are wanting this to be a coaster, that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Doesn't really matter. He's a little off center, and of course that painted edge right there kind of helps hide the discoloration in the resin itself. It's still a little evident, like if you look down, right, it may not come out very well on camera if this thing will ever autofocus. There we go, text always helps. Yeah, see, everything's nice and legible. You can tell that that is slightly yellowed in the in that little foil stamp right there. But I mean, as far as everything goes, it turned out really well. I'll probably hold on to this one and just use fresh resin that hasn't yellowed yet with the next project once everything opens up and I can afford to get more resin to do the rest. But that looks like a success, so I think the next time I do this, I will absolutely be using it on these other cards that I've got. So this is going to be exciting. Well, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead, hit like. I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff like this. I've got a video in the works right now that should come out hopefully by probably this video is going up on Friday, I think. So it should be Monday, I hope, that the Blind to Nostalgia for Ty the Tasmanian Tiger comes out. I'm aiming for that. If it's sometime in the first week of June, so be it. I just want to make sure I get that done. If you guys have any ideas of other things that I can try, you know, I posted earlier this week, which is today at the time that I recorded this, but earlier in the week by the time this video goes out, me walking through the woods, and I'd really like to go back and record me just exploring, even if it's not very eventful. So I gotta let this sit because I can still smell clear coat and acrylic, or and resin, which is probably not good for me. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe for more antics like this, and I'll be here later.